Now I explain the meaning and the purpose of the second line. Already I explained to you about first line, the content of first line, that is comment. The second line is inclusion of header files. In order to understand this concept, you have to understand one real life thing. As I told you already, most of these computer concepts are similar to real life concepts. That's why first let us study a real life concept, then come to computer concept. Then it enables you to own the concept very easily. You never feel it is a technology or some other foreign concept. Now, inclusion of header files. Actually, in real life, in order to have comfortable living, we require several services like like a home, transport, electricity, water, uh, drainage, security, etc. Number of services we require. If you analyze that, some of these services, what we require in our day-to-day life, are provided by the government. Some other services are not provided by the government. For example, government provides you transport, electricity, water, drainage, security, medical services, etc. and all that. But government does not provide you a housekeeping service. So, a laundry service, whatever services are not provided by the government, for them what you do? You engage your own person, housekeeping service, you engage a servant maid, you engage a laundry person, etc. and all that. Sometimes what happen, whatever services provided by the government may not be up to your satisfaction. Suppose government provides a bus and a driver, a public transport system. You are not happy with that, then you have to purchase your own car, you have to engage your own driver. So, if you analyze that, all the services you enjoy in day to day life to have comfortable living can be classified into two groups. The first group are public services, and the second group are private services. The same classification is applicable to programming also. In order to write and perform certain operations through a program, we have to perform several operations. Several operations. Some operations are routine, some operations are unique. For all routinely and commonly required operations, the language, now with reference to C, the C language provides ready-made functions. I told you already, every task, every subtask is performed by a function. The function name itself tells you what it is doing. Already in previous concepts I have given an example. Square root is a function, a mathematical function. So it calculates the square root of the given value and it returns the value. Pow, this is square root, this is pow. Pow, 10, 2, 10 square, it calculates and it gives 100. This type of hundreds of ready-made functions were developed by the C language and stored all these ready-made functions in a library that is called standard C library. Why we are calling it as a library? Now you know your college library and its organization. Here also they provide you books. For that purpose, what they do, they purchase all the useful books for your studies, and they classify them subject wise, and they organize them in different shelves and all that. Corresponding index reports also they maintain. For that, because of that organization, you are able to identify or locate whatever book you require in no time. Otherwise, if it is not available also in a short span of minutes, you can identify that. The same type of organization is made in C language also. Now, I told you hundreds of ready-made functions are provided. Then what they do, they create a library like this and all that. This is what you call standard C library. Okay. In this, I told you hundreds of functions. Suppose, let us say there are 3000 functions in C library. Now, if we have to search for a function, whether it is available or not, because you do not know the name, actually you go by functionality. You believe that the name of the function represents its functionality. So, you have to search for 3000 functions. It is very difficult for you. You have to waste a lot of time. Instead of that, wasting time, you can develop your function on your own. That's why they made an organization like this. Suppose like this: math.h, stdio.h, conio.h, ctype.h. Like that, they make a classification, and in each these are called header files. Now we see the extension name h represents header files. In each header file, the corresponding functions are stored here. The corresponding functions, what are that? All mathematical functions. stdio, std means standard, input device, output device, such type of functions. And conio, console IO functions are C type, character type functions are stored here. Now, just you go to your library, one almirah is there in computer science, that is, that rack is belong to computer science. In computer science also several branches are there. Like that they organize. In no time you can identify whatever book you want. Okay, in the same manner, here even though hundreds of functions might be there, then when they classify them into groups, these are around 10 header files only. So, whatever mathematical function you require, just it consists of around 25 files, 25 functions. Then by searching 25, you can easily understand. And yesterday it is around 50 functions. By searching 50 functions, a particular function what you require regarding IO, you can identify. And conio.h, that is console. Console means keyboard and monitor screen, that oriented functions. Now C type, character, character type, character testing functions and all that. So character conversion, character testing type functions and all that you can find here. Like that, this arrangement, exactly like your college library, helps you a lot to locate a particular function. This is the background. Now, actually, in our program, what we are doing, one function, ready-made function we are using. What is that ready-made function? Printf. Printf is a writer. Writer means using printf, we can write the data on a monitor screen. Actually, let us say this is a monitor screen. Whenever this statement is executed, what is displayed on the monitor screen? Hello C, because that we have given an argument. Already I told you, these are the delimiters provided for computer, not for us. So what we actually require, these set of characters, 8 characters we require. The 8 characters are printed here. Understand, the delimiters are meant for computer, not for us. That's why those are not printed. Okay, printf, it is a ready-made function. You need not do anything. It is provided by the library. Now, whenever some security problem comes and all that, what you do? You call police. Whenever fire problem comes, what you do? You call fire service. Like that, like that. Now you main function called printf, So this should be available. Actually, this should be accessible to this program, otherwise there is no use. So for this purpose, this corresponding header file should be included into the program. That is the strategy. So where is our printf? Our printf is stored, printf function is here, stdio.h. Actually standard I means input device, standard O output device, standard input device is keyboard, standard output device is monitor. So that oriented functions. Actually printf is our writer. Whatever data you give through a program, it writes on the monitor screen. That's why it should be stored in stdio.h. Okay, so it is there. Then what you are doing, you are including it. This is the code, one hash symbol, thereafter include, one space, and within angular brackets you have to write this header file. Then what happens as a result of that, I told you already, there are around 50 ready-made functions here. 50 ready-made functions here. All the 50 functions are at your doorstep, at the doorstep of the program may call it. This is also based on a real life model. Suppose you want to engage some security guards for your office. Then what you do? You go to a security agency and have a tie-up. With the tie-up, whatever security guards you require, those are provided by the security agency. Suppose you want some catering workers for your canteen, then you go to some catering agency and they provide the corresponding workers and all that. So you are going to security agency and have a tie-up, you are going to catering agency and have a tie-up. Here you want this type of service, then what you have to do, you have to include, you will have a tie-up with that header file with your program. Suppose you want to use some mathematical function like a square root, then what you have to do, you have to write one code like include, what is that, where is square root, math.h. Then there are around 25 functions. All 25 functions are at the doorstep of our program, so it can utilize that. If it is not there, these programs are not accessible. Understand? If you don't have a tie-up with the security agency, how you can get security guards? If you don't have tie-up with a catering agency, how you can get catering people? The same logic is applicable here. In our program, one IO function, I means input, O means output. Here this is the output function. Always remember, printf is a writer. Writer means whatever data you give, that is, it sees that is written on the monitor screen. So for this purpose we have included this. So in this case only this is required, this we included. In future programs you may require math library, that is mathematical function. Suppose for some POW you may use, or 10 mathematical functions you may use. Then what you do, include, hash include, angular brackets, within that math.h. This is the strategy. This is also like in real life. Okay, now second line I have explained. So this is inclusion of header file. This is popularly known as linking. Here actually this is C language, this is a library. One very important point you have to understand, that library, C library is not part of the C language, That's why by inclusion process, whatever are required, it is made part of the C language. That's why it is called linking. This term you remember, linking. Okay, always remember that standard library standard C library is created for the purpose of C, but it is not part of the C language. It is strategically it is made as a separate component, and whatever header file you require and all that, that you have to explicitly include like this. This is a strategy. What is the reason behind it also? I will tell you. The reason is every time new items, new functions, ready-made functions are included in that. So it grows bigger, grows bigger. But as far as language is concerned, only language oriented core elements are stored in that. Core elements. So more or less those are static. Or it grows also, its growth is very little. That's why. And one more thing, here let us say 20 header files and 1000 ready-made functions are there. All these are not required for all the programs. So that's why whatever they require and all that, for them linking is to be done. So that reason, that underlying concept you understand, and this process is called linking.